but it's like same way you can be toxic to other people by saying negative things is the same way you can be toxic to yourself by saying negative things to you. And we get so many people that walk around complimenting people. You look great. You're so amazing. You did well today. But they can't say those things to themselves. A small toxic habit is people that can't receive, and you don't even recognize that. But it's also something that comes from thinking that maybe you don't deserve certain things of love and compassion and all those things. It's a small toxic trait, but it's something that doesn't serve a lot of people. So I'd say that, yeah, people can be toxic to themselves, and again, when someone comes and is what we call toxic, it's the only thing is that because the pain hurts of whatever other people say because we already believed it within ourselves. It's not because of what that person said. So when they come and say, actually, you're ugly or this and that, then it's because you believed it and that's what hurts. But if you know you're beautiful, if you know you're amazing, if you know you're awesome, those things just kind of like bounce off because they're not in alignment with the truth that you carry within yourself. So I definitely say that, people can be toxic, and you have to also be willing to let go of those patterns in order to become whatever or whoever you want to become.
Miss Yvette Aloe, one would assume that one of the secrets of keeping your self-love in check is the ability to identify and deal with negative energy. In that regard, what would you say is an ideal way to deal with negative energy?
To not entertain it. Again, we attract what we are. So I'd say firstly, take yourself, because if you're constantly surrounded by negative people, there's something within you, because a lot of times you will realize only later or to say, actually, I was around the wrong crowd, and because I was also part of like that I carried the same energy, I was a negative person to myself and others. Therefore, I attracted other people that were really negative. So the only way to counterfeit that is to become love, and that's how you kind of like push away negative energy. So if it's not a loving thought, if it's not a loving act, if it's not a loving deed or anything, then that's how you can, I guess, kind of take away negativity. So even in your mind, it's like stop yourself in your tracks and say, is this a loving thought? Then if it's not okay, then filter it. Allow the thoughts to come. There's like these Buddhist monks, they always say, it's not about, when you think of meditation, you always think, oh, don't think, oh, that was bad. But it's not even about not having the thought. It's about letting the thought pass and then not keeping it, If it's negative emotion, let that emotion pass, So cry, do what you need to do to get it out, but don't keep it. If it's anger, don't let it pass, acknowledge it, but don't keep it. And when you allow those things to flow and say, this is not in alignment with who I am, and then replace them with other more positive things, and you let them out, you let that thought pass, you acknowledge it, you're like, oh, okay, this thought says it's trying to take me back to my past, okay, but isn't in alignment with who I want to become, okay, I'm not keeping this thought, and you let the thought pass. That's pretty much it. And I think that's the one way that we can also just be kinder to ourselves by not saying, oh, I'm not gonna, but simply letting those things pass because it's only human. But it starts becoming toxic when we keep it in our minds and in our consciousness and around us. So even when you meet somebody that seems like they're a negative person, they're just in a space where that is what they know. So you don't obviously have to surround yourself with that person, obviously, because eventually their energy is going to start affecting yours. You can have compassion for them, but love them from far. So it's really not judging them, but saying this is who they are right now, probably because they don't know better, or even so, whatever. We don't know why people become how they become. But again, it's to protect your energy and just be consciously surround yourself with people that speak life, people that uplift you, and be that person for yourself as well. So I think, again, it's just love, and that's how you can cover negativity.
You mentioned something about letting it out. I want to ask a question about secrets. How much effect does keeping secrets bottled in have on someone's overall well-being?
And I think this is where a lot of psychologists, psychiatrists come in handy, because then they give the people the opportunity to talk and not feel like they'll be judged, because I think that's the fear with most people, that they'll be judged. Even in the work that I do, even though my work is not really centered around talking about things a lot, but rather moving you past them. And sometimes we actually don't always need to talk about the thing, but it's really around just releasing it, because talking is a way of releasing negative energy. Communication is a way of releasing negative energy, because when you keep those things inside, they actually just eat you up. But once you say it, it's now, I guess, kinetic energy, and it's like coming out, it's moving and it's out, so that's also pretty important. It's part of healing, it's part of growing, it's part of healthy relationships, is to just communicate. And when you keep things in, we just build up negative energy just builds up within our own bodies, and sometimes it actually causes stress and other things that are that are aligned with stress. So the best thing to do is find somebody to talk to, whether it's a friend, whether it's a psychologist. There's places that offer free counseling, like lifeline.org. So if anybody just needs to talk to somebody, they can just contact lifeline.org and go see a psychologist, just find somebody who you can talk to and let that energy out. If you can't and you really feel that you're not in a space to talk to somebody else, write. And I think that's why a lot of artists get their best songs out of their struggles, is because they needed to let that energy out. Then when it comes out, it becomes art. So try painting, try drawing, try writing, try singing. Even if you can't, it doesn't matter. But find a place where you can express that which you need to let out. And then once it's out, and it's no longer yours for you to carry. Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone out there that feels like their world has just ended? Maybe because they have just lost a loved one, or they are struggling to find employment. Basically, what words of encouragement would you give to someone that is at the brink of depression?
Depression is something crazy, but I think that people should trust the process, and you're exactly where you need to be to get where you want to become, and that life is not happening to you. Jim Rohn says this, that it's happening for you, so everything is happening for your good, and it's about how anything negative energy you can convert into something else. So someone becomes unemployed and then they get a business opportunity. Someone sees an opportunity to actually spend time with their friends. Someone sees an opportunity to actually put that business plan that they've always been like having self-doubt about in motion. It's an opportunity for you maybe to start serving and volunteer somewhere. So see it as an opportunity to create, and not something that is a loss, I suppose, because every time there's a loss, there's an opportunity. So it's just about trusting the process.
Miss Yvette Aloe, I have to say that this was a very lovely and eye-opening conversation indeed. In conclusion, can you please tell the listeners as to where can they get hold of you?
Alrighty. Firstly, my website, which is YvetteAloe.co.za. So that's YvetteAloe.co.za. And on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, it's at YVEWE_Aloe, ALOE. And for bookings of sessions, or if someone is dealing with a trauma or mild trauma, dealing with anxiety, or just wants to plan their life and create a better life for themselves, I'm the person that you can come to, and I'll assist you in moving forward in your journey. And my number is 076-901-6734, and you can just find me on those platforms. So yeah.
Miss Yvette Aloe, thank you for joining me on the Internet Drive with Gregory Wet-Smith. I wish you nothing but the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you, Gregory, and I wish you the best in this amazing show and this platform that you've created to have, I think, it's real conversation. So thank you for that.
That was Miss Yvette Aloe, certified life coach, sharing her expertise with us. Well, today, my lovely listeners, I'm not going to leave you alone, but with a friend and colleague of mine from Buzini Nelspruit, who goes by the name Kili Christas. Here is Kili Christas with his self-produced amapiano song titled Buzini Rocks. That's it from me, Gregory Wet-Smith. See you on the next episode of the Internet Drive with Gregory Wet-Smith, discussing nothing but social issues affecting young people and young professionals.